Watch Tranzeet TV right now.
Biar mo na ultimate komentaryo uno. Keep watching Tranzeet TV and stay more for premium content. Otra vez, adios.
Tranzeet TV, welcome back again to our EPL studios. Arsenal just lost second time in a row for the first time. In fact, since this year, they've not lost a game since January 1st. Away from home. Last time they traveled to Bournemouth 2-0. Today they went to Newcastle, lost 1-0 as well. Last weekend, you remember, they also drew a game against Liverpool. So meaning in 3 games, Arsenal has no win in the league. This season, 10 games gone, and it's looking like it's going to be an 8 points gap between Arsenal and Man City at the end of this weekend. Things are not looking good for Arsenal, and we have in our midst a debutant to the channel today, Carlos, an Arsenal fan, a vocal one for that matter. Carlos, you are welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good to see
Thank
you,
you very
Victor.
much.
Good to see you on this side of the studio as well. We're not talking MPFL today. Yeah, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here. And I just finished watching the Arsenal game in a very cold room, but good thing I'm out of the room. And Arsenal fans, I hope they are not cold.
Yes, the bad day for Arsenal fan. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan as well. It was just Carlos, did Arsenal do anything good today at all in this game?
I am disappointed. I said to God, like, I feel like this is not the Arsenal I know. You know, the tactics, everything has changed. There is no hunger. You know, they are not like from the first minute to the last minute. I didn't see any hunger to challenge, you know, for this game. It was just, they were just playing like they are forced to play. And I feel like the tactics as well, like, this season alone it's not been how I expected it to be. You know, Arsenal has just forget the fans that I'm defending them, obviously, yes, for today, I feel like we lost the league. Lucky.
Is there anything exactly you can pinpoint that is tactically? Like for me, I was watching that game and knowing us now before now, there are a few things I looked at. Victor, you can respond to this as well. I feel that Thomas Partey not playing the Rice was good for Arsenal last season and has been a good addition to the squad. But I don't think he's really a number 6 because there's this base that Thomas Partey gives to the team when he plays in that position. See, Partey went to right back, Rice returned to that midfield. I don't think that the midfield of Moreno, Declan Rice, and maybe sometimes Kai Havertz or Partey has even worked. So I feel the Rice is, for me, it looks like he's just a box-to-box player that can move the team forward. But in that position, I don't think he's good. So it kind of affected the flow. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, for me, I think. Yeah, Carl, go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay, Declan Rice, I see him in that number 6 area, but when he was signed, I thought he was going to do a partnership with Thomas Partey. But unfortunately, Partey is now moved to right back. And in this, I've not watched a lot of Partey games at right back because most of the time he has been injured. And so today I was particularly interested in what he would do at the right back. Or maybe I think we might misjudge him because he's playing against a very good team. But if you're a good player, you should be able to turn up against big teams and good teams. You should be able to be a big game player. But Thomas Partey performance today, I won't say it was totally bad, but it was not what we expect from a good right back. But I don't think he's a natural back. I don't think he's a right, back. That Partey himself, I think he's more like a defensive midfielder, and maybe he could have partnered with Declan Rice. But then, like you said, Merino, I was questioning him. I know he was got from Real Sociedad. Why is Merino in this squad? Why is he even starting? He shouldn't be starting big games like this. For me, his performance was abysmal. And I think that midfield partnership had issues today. There was no creativity, no flair. And so it cost us now.
Yeah, I've been crying about that one for the past few weeks now. From what I saw today, the young man is ready physically and in terms of, mentally, he looks like he's ready. I don't know what Teta is waiting on And
Yeah.
well, another thing I can fall at is sometimes you have to be flexible. If you have all these injuries and players are not fit, you don't have to play the same. You can go three at the back because, like you mentioned, their party for me is not a right back, and he can play there, but because of his history with injury, especially hamstring, that's why he cannot. You know, Arsenal when why he plays on the right back, he goes forward to support Saka forward and comes back. If Partey does that, he's going to pull something. That's why he stays more as a right back, and that has not worked for us now. Like Carlos mentioned there's something about the team that is not in terms of I don't know body language or I don't know how to put it. I know this team has suffered a lot of injuries this season, but if you want to win leagues, you don't have any excuses. You have to find a way to win. Carlos, let me ask you. You know, Arsenal yes did badly, but what did Newcastle do today? Because sometimes you might look at it from a point of view of a fan, and your team did not do well, but it might be that the other team stopped them from doing what they normally do. What did Newcastle do today to stop Arsenal from, flying?
I feel like their midfield was more compact. I feel like they were able to handle us. Like I said, we are dead in that middle, and from the look of things, they were able to dominate the midfield, and bring down our press. We didn't do nothing today, like I said. There was no hunger. We didn't act like we wanted to win. We were just trying to see, okay, let's just try and see, if this is which didn't work out. For me, I feel like you said, you talked about Thomas Partey, and you know, Rice was brought in to replace Thomas Partey. Do you understand me? So when you say, oh, you feel Rice is not a defensive midfielder, I feel like he was brought in to replace Thomas Partey. But the thing is, we haven't brought that right person who can play the position of Merino, the Merino's position. I feel like Merino is today, not just today, even the last game and the last two games, he has not been convincing. Like he's not convincing enough. His performance is not has not really been convincing. Forget the goal he scored against Liverpool. And for me, I feel like if at all we want to move forward, Partey needs to return to that midfield. The Partey needs to return to the midfield, while Rice goes back to that box to box. But in everything, I just feel like with or without Thomas Partey, we should be winning this game. We should be winning this game. The midfield was dead, and we're not moving forward. The tactics entirely, Partey did well. For me, I feel like he did well on the right back. I mean,
Yeah.
what a utility player should do on that right back.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't expect so much from someone that is not a natural right back. But the problem entirely came from the midfield. And like I said, we are not just good enough. We were not good enough. This season we have not been good enough. This is not the Arsenal I know. There has to be a lot of changes. A lot of changes. If not, we might not even make top four. I mean, I'm not even doing
Yeah,
it
I
trying to
think
be
I thought
sentimental
I need
here,
to take some of this blame because I mean, like you mentioned, the Merino, I know you brought him in. Sometimes coaches have
Tactics, the
become a
tactics,
victim of their own action, maybe just trying to
the
force.
tact, yeah, like the tactics entirely is annoying. It's annoying. Like he defends more than he attacks. The last game we played against, okay, the last two games we played against Bournemouth, right? This
Yeah,
guy
Bournemouth
played
and go.
three defensive midfielders. Marino, Partey, Rice.
Declare
How can
Rice.
you
Then in
play
the
against
midfield, how do
Bournemouth?
you want to score? Exactly. I mentioned it too.
Like that's my problem. That's my problem. Like the tactics, he wants to defend more. He's more concerned about defending than attacking. I don't understand. I don't understand Ateta this season. Honestly, is I don't just understand. We might not make top four. I'm hoping we make top four, but
Victor, let me ask you, I don't
it's
know,
disappointing.
what has gone wrong for
I
Arsenal?
know
I think what has gone wrong for Arsenal is really, really funny because how is Arsenal fans now moving from talking about the league title to now making top four? I mean, even at the start of the season, many people expect the title race to be between Arsenal and Manchester City. And right now, Arsenal are 8 points behind league leaders Manchester City.
No, they're
For
not
me,
yet.
what went wrong
That's if
there?
City wins today. They will. But we believe that they're going to win.
See, that's it. Anyways, I think what went wrong for Arsenal is, the recruitment. Arsenal did not recruit the right players, and I think I'll blame that on Arteta because he's the one in charge. Or I mean, he's the coach, and he'll be the one to demand the players that he wants. For me, I feel like he did not, recruit the right players that he wants for Arsenal in the transfer window. He got Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, yes, is a good player. At Manchester City, he was one of their best players. At Chelsea, he did a good work for them. Raheem Sterling is a good player that you need to have in your squad, for squad depth and all that. But sometimes he's not a big game player. He doesn't turn up sometimes. He's not, always reliable, back to back, that kind of consistency. So I feel like getting Raheem Sterling was not good enough. And also, Merino is not a bad signing. Maybe with time he will pick up. But for me, I'm not comfortable with the signings, Arteta made. You look at this game today, Newcastle had their chances, when they're moving the ball from the right wing and then the left wing. You see Anthony Gordon try to cross the ball inside, and it's getting to a point man there. They're talking about Alexander Isak. There's no point man for Arsenal. You keep depending on Kai Havertz. Sometimes you need your striker to be there for you to, give you, those big game performances. Arsenal currently don't have an outright striker. Gabriel Jesus is not a striker. He scored for the first time last week. I think so, since January. Imagine a player not scoring from since January. His last goal was, since January, and he just scored now in okay, that was October. We are just entering November. So for me, I feel like Arsenal did not get their recruitment correctly. I think they did not sign the right players, that they needed, especially in the midfield, and also a good proper number 9, because Kai Havertz has been delivering. Even this season, Kai Havertz has been delivering. But you would not expect him to do the job of a number 9.
No, the thing is that I hear you. He didn't even play Kai Havertz. He's not been playing as a 9 the last 3 games. He's playing closer there. Kai Havertz goes there when there is substitution. This is where I have problem with Arteta. I think he has become a victim of his own too much twisting and turning. And sometimes substitution, like today, you were 1 goal down. And this is the difference between when you had Mourinho, Wenger, and Ferguson them. At this point, they just throw it in. I didn't understand how Martinelli was coming out when you're 1 month down. You're bringing out, you're doing like for like. Because like Carlos mentioned, Ateta is more concerned with defense than attacking. At this point, throw it all there, bring out the defender and put a more Martinelli. Yes, he didn't have the quality in terms of final balls, but it was a pain in the flesh of Newcastle. So add Gabriel Jesus to it. What did the Ateta do today? Bring out Martinelli and put Jesus. What they're going to give you? These people have been very, very strong defensively. And by the way, for me today, man of the match was Bremento. Did a very good job on Martinelli. And you remove Martinelli and bring up Jesus, and it's going to be the same result. So I think Ateta has got it wrong somehow this season.
I think also he did not bring in Waneri early because he needed creativity in the midfield. And he didn't bring him
earlier than he has been doing. At least gave him 30 minutes. So I thought that needs to. I think he has a lot of them. I know the team has been ravaged by a lot of injuries. At some point, I was even praising the team that he has somehow found a way to stay in it. But I mean, it's no longer. It's now one time too much trying to defend and not win games. Once Newcastle scored that game, the way the game was going, I just told someone the best Arsenal can get from this game today will be a draw. And I was right. Eventually, they couldn't even get anything out of it. Newcastle themselves didn't even have to play well to win this game. They didn't do much themselves. It was just that they were, like Carlos mentioned, they were combative. They stayed in the game. We are strong in their endurance and tried to just stifle Arsenal. That was all they tried to do. The best player of the team today for me was Livramento and Hall. And these are defensive players. So I could tell you that, yes, they didn't really create much against Arsenal, but still they won the game. So, Carlos, what's the way forward, and what do you think Arteta needs to do now with because Victor mentioned recruitment, transfer window is closed. Injuries, yes, they are there, but you have to compete. And for me, hope is not lost. The EPL we know can twist anytime, but you have to do something to get that favor. I don't know what you think.
I mean, before you talk about transfer window, we should be talking about how can he sweat the team, to come back to that winning ways.
Yeah,
because I feel like even without that transfer window, this team is capable. We showed it last season now. We
exactly.
are capable of challenging. You understand? So it's not really about when you say, oh, the transfer or Harvard. I feel like with Harvard, with all the players we've got in this team, we are capable. We are one of the best teams in Europe. So I feel like it's just a mentality, and then his tactics as well. He should stop. He should stop working this whole thing, carrying Partey to right back, playing Merino in midfield. Trossard is not a right center midfielder. Why are you playing him there? You understand my point? If you don't have Odegaard, you have Waneri there. Why can't you play Waneri in the right midfield? That's the thing. This is one of the things I'm talking about. Martinelli should not even be in us. Martinelli is the kind of player like he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Martinelli is a good player, but I feel like he's not Arsenal standard. He's just like Nketiah. Nketiah is a good player, but he's not Arsenal standard. He shouldn't or not. Martinelli should not be starting for a team like Arsenal. Martinelli should not be starting for a team like Arsenal. He's a good player, but honestly, I just feel like he needs to get the setup correctly. Get their mentality back on check, and yeah, I think like we can still challenge, but for the title, I don't know, but top four, why not? But we're still in the Carabao Cup, we're still in the Champions League. There's still hope. Something is.
Well, well, like I said, I've watched EPL for so many years. Yes, and I know they say after 10 games, you can begin to see how the season is going to pan out. But I don't think it's like you mentioned, if with the quality that Arsenal has and what they have shown the last 2 seasons, if they are ready, they can
Yeah,
still challenge for the title. All it takes is one game against Liverpool, one game against Manchester City, and everything will just turn around again. So, but they have to start winning games. Victor, before we go, what does Arsenal need to do with what they have? Let's forget about what they should have done. What they have now, how does Arteta turn this around and start to win games?
I don't know. It's left for him to turn it around. He's the golfer in charge. He's the man in charge. He's the one that sees his players. He's the one that knows, everything that goes on in the team. Since Odegaard got injured, he's not been the same, even though he's back. He's not been the same player. So how can he revive his players? How can he, get this team together for him to, get the result Arsenal need? And what's the result Arsenal need? Arsenal need to go back to win games. You pointed out that Arsenal have not won their last 3 games. Arsenal need to go back to winning ways so that, the title race is not out. It's just about 10, 11 matches played in the Premier League. So we need to see where Arsenal can build from there. You just have to win your games. Other teams are chasing. Chelsea's chasing. Newcastle themselves, they are chasing, although they started slowly at the start of the season, but they are chasing. There's a lot of competition, happening in the EPL this season. So you don't want to slack. So for me, I think it just has to be Arsenal winning games. I don't know how Arteta is going to do it, whether it's going to be the Mourinho kind of defensive way or the Pep kind of attacking way. Anyhow he chooses to do it, he's the one in charge. He knows how, the players that can perform, how fit, the fitness level of these players. But he just needs to get the result. If not, already on social media before I came here, a lot of Arsenal fans are already saying Arteta out, Arteta out. I'm like, it's too early. It's too early. So
Yeah,
he just has
yeah,
to get the result.
it's too early for me. I believe they can still turn it around, like you mentioned, and yeah, the hope is not low. But Tottenham just need to go back. I think he tried to build this team from a defensive point of view, but it's not working. So this team needs to be on the front foot and put teams under pressure, get their goal. And even defensively, they're conceding goals now. 3 games, no clean sheet, and this is not what we know Arsenal of. But if you remember last season, this team started slowly like this as well. After January, they just looked at they went to Dubai and came back from that short break and just flew throughout the season. Out of 19 games, they won 17. So so yeah, let's see what happens. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow or Monday when we do the full EPL weekend breakdown. And Victor, thank you very much for stopping by, and I'll see you again. Ciao.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Manchester City Bournemouth just called Manchester City. It's going to be an interesting one.
Okay, let's see.